Hey guys, this is Crazy Night Hero. For those who have subscribed, welcome to the kingdom. Today we're going to be continuing the Great Exotic Quest, and today we're going to be looking at shotguns, how they compare to each other, and which one I think is the best. You guys are obviously entitled to your opinion, but this is just my opinion, and I hope it is helpful. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, what do we have here? The fourth horseman. It has super high rate of fire, and it's kinda awful. That's pretty much the only thing going for it. The reload's awful, the range is like a stone throw away, if that. It kinda can't do anything that a legendary shotgun can't do, and the feel of it is just funky, and it's just really bad. I'm pretty sure we can just ignore this one and move on, because everyone knows it's not the greatest. Next up is the Invective. You can pause it for a moment if you want to see more details. This gun is pretty good. Unlike the fourth horseman, you can actually control the darn thing, and it actually has some pretty good DPS on it. With its exotic perk, it allows you to recharge ammo, which is pretty useful, but not as useful as you might think. This was one of my go-to weapons in year 1, but ever since year 2, and especially that shotgun nerf, it just kinda seems like it was hit hard. Like, a lot of the other shotguns that I'll get to in a second doesn't seem like they've been affected at all, but this one kind of seems like meh. Now you can still find great success with this weapon, and I'm not hating on anyone that does use it. Just in my opinion, it doesn't seem like the best, but you can still get some pretty fun and satisfying kills with it. I would say this weapon's biggest strength is blade dancers. You can take those out decently okay, but of all the other shotguns I've used, I think it's like the easiest to take them out with, so that's a pretty good thing about this weapon. It's good for a fast-firing shotgun, but it just feels a bit average to me. And I kinda don't know why, but let's just go ahead and do a little bit more digging, shall we? And now we come to the chaperone. Again, if you want to see more details, just go ahead and pause it. Now, what do we have here? This shotgun shoots a precision slug, meaning to where if you miss at all just a little bit, they don't take any damage because it only shoots one projectile. But if you do hit them, it can hit them at a pretty far range, but it has to be a headshot. If you get a point blank like chest shot, it will not insta-kill them, which means it's kind of bad against other shotguns, so that's where it kind of falters a little bit. But if you place yourself in good engagements, you can always headshot them before they're even in shotgun range, which is fantastic, but again, it's really hard to do, and if you miss at all, you can't play off of it like shoot them a little bit, then like finish them off with a grenade, whatever it might be. You just can't miss. But when you don't, again, like any other shotgun, it's got great DPS. It can really be effective at far ranges, and the perk is not too bad. You can actually feel it happen a little bit. And if you take a quick look at the last exotic perk, it's pretty darn bad. So it can definitely be good, but it's just so hard to use. And one of my personal favorites, the Lord of Wolves, is up next. Now this shotgun is a 5-round burst. It's a little bit weird. It has 30 in the magazine, and the best way to describe how this gun feels, it's like a fusion rifle that it fires the burst instantly when you pull the trigger. This gun does take a little bit of getting used to in the fact that you have to kind of follow your target because it doesn't fire all of its rounds at once, so you kind of have to trace their movements a little bit like a fusion rifle. But the ranges that this thing can kill at are almost criminal. It's intense. But please don't nerf it, it takes skill. Oh, and just to address the elephant in the room, yes, I know that not all of these are year 2 weapons, so they're not going to be useful in things like Trials of Osiris or anything like that. I'm just saying in general. Okay, with that out of the way, this gun is super fun to use. It's just, this thing is super good. Unlike the chaperone, it does kill at a super long range like the chaperone, but if you miss a little bit, you can still finish them off with like a grenade or something like I was talking about earlier. The fire rate is a little bit slower, and the exotic perk isn't something to like totally write home about. It's not too bad, it helps your recovery, which is good. And it's got so much ammo like the Invective, so bada bing bada boom. And last but not least, we have ourselves the universal remote. Go ahead and pause it if you want. Now the most important thing to remember about this weapon, it is equipped in your primary weapon slot. Say what? So right off the bat, some people probably won't like using this gun if they have like a really nice primary they like to use. but it still packs a punch. Now this gun is pretty effective, and the thing that's like the biggest selling point compared to all the other ones is it's familiar, and it can kill at far ranges. Like I'm sure you guys have heard me a lot. I'm just like a broken record. So I just want to clear this up a little bit. The farthest range is probably the Lord of Wolves, then the Chaperone, then this thing, then the Invective, then the Fourth Horseman. Okay, this gun is pretty silly since it's in your primary weapon slot, and you can make some pretty interesting, like, double shotgun classes, but, like a lot of the other ones, it's kind of finicky up close, but it's pretty much like the Chaperone, but even if you miss a little bit, it still does a lot of damage. Like, you can still kill and, like, rip headshots because with its perk, it, like, multiplies precision damage a lot when aiming down sights, so you will want to aim for the head, but it is definitely not as crucial. So this thing definitely takes up your primary for a reason because it is pretty darn good. Now you might be thinking, why do I even need to know about these exotic shotguns when I could just use the only good ones, such as... Now that would be a good valid point. But here at the Kingdom, we like to experiment a little and be different. Not just use what everybody else does, right? Right? Maybe it's just me. But anyways, I think the best exotic shotgun is the Universal Remote. Bum ba ba bum. I like it the best. It came super close to the Lord of Wolves, but I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I will keep continuing to do this because it is awesome, and you guys seem to like it a lot. But anyways, it's been Crazy Night Hero, and I'm out.
Invincible.